Former President Jacob Zuma will definitely go to trial. The NPA confirmed on Monday, of course, that prosecution's boss Shaun Abraham rejected a request made by Zuma's lawyer, Hulley, for the case to be withdrawn. The request was to halt the prosecution of course, the trial expected to start on Friday. That was pending the outcome of a separate appeal about his legal costs. But the NPA says it's up to Zuma's defense to decide whether or not to file a similar application in the courts. The DA filed an application to try and force Zuma to pay back an estimated 15 million rand spent to fight the reinstatement of those corruption charges against him in relation to the arms deal in the 1990s. Well, joining us now on the line is NPA spokesperson Luvuyo Mfaku. Mr. Mfaku, so you're saying this is really up to the courts to decide, not the NPA?
Evening, Francis. We certainly say that the NDPP, after considering their request, he deemed it prudent not to accede to that request on the basis that it would not be in the interest of justice to do so. Now, on Friday, he will appear in court, and his lawyers will have to present whatever they want to request in front of the judges. So it is up to the court to decide whether to grant a postponement for the outstanding legal issues to be finalized.
Do you think a postponement on this issue, so while the legal costs are being sorted out, do you think the court will grant that?
As the NPA will never oppose any postponement when someone is waiting for the finalization of a review matter for legal assistance. We have done in the past, we have done with the former security branch officers who challenged the Department of Justice for financial aid. We postponed for 8 months, we postponed again up until the matter was finalized yesterday. So we will never object based on the principle of fairness and the fact that each and every South African has got constitutional rights to legal representation.
Yeah. Well, remember, this is after years and there's a lot of postponements expected, maybe technical issues. Can you give us any idea of how long it will be until the court gets to the substance, the evidence for and against corruption in the arms deal?
We can't talk about the commencement of the trial before the issue of legal aid before it is finalized. As I indicated, with the former security branch, we postponed for 8 months. The matter was not finalized. We had to postpone for 6 months again. It takes some time. We cannot estimate the amount of time it will take for the review process to be finalized.
Mm. The NPA boss, Shaun Abraham, is perceived to be, this is about perceptions, maybe a little harder on the former president now that he's no longer his political boss. Is there any concern about political expediency here?
That perception is really misplaced. If you consider how he conducted the litigation, immediately when he took office, this matter was already pending before court. The High Court in Pretoria pronounced on the matter. We appealed to the SCA. Once he discovered that there were issues relating to our grounds of appeal, then he actually brought that to the attention of the court. And then the court pronounced, and immediately after that he arranged with the head of the Hawks to arrange the availability of witnesses, and he advised his legal representatives in uncertain terms that he will accept the representation, and he considered and he decided to prosecute. He followed due process. There is no political expedience. There were no politics whatsoever involved. It was purely based on the evidential material at his disposal.
All right, so this matter will play out separately now about the legal costs. Then it'll come back to the courts. Would the NPA concede there could be two very different cases? One, if he's got deep pockets funded by taxpayers, it could go on for a long time. If he's paying personally or receiving legal aid, it could be a very different trial. Do you agree? That is not our concern. Ours is with the criminal trial. And as I articulated, that each and every South African has got a right to be legally represented.
The other matter, it's a review, which is motion proceedings. We are not involved in that. Once that is finalized, that is when the NPA will be in a position to identify a suitable date for all the parties for trial.
Mr. Mfaku, while we've got you, years have passed. Is that going to make any difference in people's memories, in the documents that could be collected? Is it making your job harder, or is there still that strong evidence, that prima facie case as it was years and years ago?
I remember the bulk of evidence is documentary evidence, and the Hawks interviewed witnesses while we were reconsidering the matter. They identified them, they spoke to them, they're still willing to testify. Hence the decision was taken to re-enroll the matter. So that won't be an issue.
He, at one stage, was expected to say, though, justice delayed is justice denied. Is that a concern for the NPA?
Justice delayed is justice denied, but that applies when the delay is on the part of the state. Remember here, it is the litigant, I mean the suspect or accused person who has taken these legal steps. Each and every South African has got a right to take matters on appeal, to take decisions on review, and he is exercising his constitutional rights. There's his due process and the rule of law. Everything that he has done is in line with the rule of law, and I hope it is educational to other South Africans in terms of how they can exercise their rights that are enshrined in the Constitution.
All right, spokesperson for the National Prosecuting Authority, thank you for your time, Luvuyo Mfaku. So former President Jacob Zuma will be in court on Friday. A lot of speculation about what will happen, possibly a postponement so that the other matter relating to who will actually pay his legal costs will be finalized. Bongani?